Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're plugging into the live music scene, and let me tell you, the volume on this issue, it goes way beyond just the price of concert tickets.
Oh, you're right about that. It's a completely different tune when you step back and look at the whole picture.
So walk me through it, because I'm seeing all these headlines about Live Nation.
Yeah.
They're like the big concert guys, right? And they're raking in billions. Their reports make it sound like every single person is out there at these stadium shows.
Right, and that's part of the problem, I guess. Those mega tours, like the Taylor Swifts of the world, they're definitely filling stadiums. But that's not the whole story.
Okay, so there's more to it than just like packed stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look a little closer, it's clear that this growth everyone is talking about is mostly happening at the very, very top. You know what I mean?
So what's happening with the smaller venues?
Yeah.
I mean, those are the places where bands get their start, where fans discover new sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different vibe.
And they're singing a different tune altogether.
Really? I mean, I get that stadium shows are their own thing, but I just figured with everyone being so hungry for live music after, everything that happened these past few years, I thought these smaller venues would be doing amazing.
You'd think right, but they're kind of getting squeezed from both sides. Costs are going way up for everyone, of course, but these smaller venues are like the small bookstores of music.
I like that comparison.
They just don't have a lot of wiggle room with their budgets, and they can't just jack up ticket prices the way these huge stadium shows can.
So what happens when they can't keep the lights on? Is
Yeah.
it really that big of a deal if some smaller venues shut down?
Well, this report from the Music Venue Trust really puts it in perspective. They found that a whopping 36% of small venues in the UK are actually operating at a loss. And get this, an average of 2 venues are shutting down every single week. We're talking about places like the Boardwalk in Sheffield, where the Arctic Monkeys got their start, or King Tut's Wah Wah Hut in Glasgow, which hosted Oasis and Radiohead. I mean, so many huge bands played there early on.
Wow, 2 a week. That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, those are iconic venues. We're talking about places where music history was made.
Exactly. They're more than just buildings. They're cultural hubs. They nurture up-and-coming talent, they fuel local economies, and they give artists a place to connect with fans, on a personal level.
Mm.
When those venues disappear, we're not just losing stages, we're losing a vital part of the music ecosystem.
I'll admit it, I don't always keep up with every new band that comes along.
Yeah.
But when you put it like that, when you think about those legendary bands like the Arctic Monkeys
Yeah.
getting their start in these smaller venues, it really hits home that these places are more than just buildings, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're like these little breeding grounds for creativity and community. And it's not just about losing stages when we lose them. It's those shared experiences, those nights that turn into stories you tell for years to come. And we can't forget about the economics of it all.
Right, because it goes way beyond just the bands and the fans.
Right.
You've got the sound engineers, the bartenders, the people working security, the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. There was this study that found that these smaller venues, the grassroots music venues, they call them, they contribute over £500 million every year to the UK economy. That's huge. They bring life to their neighborhoods, they create jobs, and they support a whole web of other businesses. Think about that pub down the street from the venue that's always packed after a show. They feel the loss, too.
Yeah, it's like that saying, isn't it? When a small business closes, a little bit of the community disappears. But in this case, it's not just one business. It's this whole ecosystem built around live music.
And it goes way beyond the UK, too. This report we're looking at highlights how festivals are facing a lot of the same pressures, costs are going up, insurance is a nightmare, and even the weather is becoming less predictable. It's a mess. Over 60 UK music festivals have been canceled or postponed just this year alone. We're talking about Glastonbury, Reading, and Leeds. These are huge events, and even they're struggling.
Wow, that's great. Those are festivals people wait all year for, spend their hard-earned money on.
Yeah.
It seems like there's this perfect storm brewing.
It's definitely a crazy time for the live music scene. And the impact goes way beyond just canceled gigs and lost revenue. This goes right to the heart of cultural expression and community building.
And what about the artists? I mean, if they don't have these smaller venues to get experience and build a following, how are they supposed to break through?
Exactly. It really stifles creativity and stops new ideas from coming out.
Yeah.
Those small venues are where artists can experiment and connect with their audience, really hone their craft. Without them, the path to bigger stages becomes even harder.
So we've definitely uncovered some challenges here. It seems like live music is facing this kind of like a wave of change. How do we even navigate this? I mean, are we really headed towards a world with only mega stadium concerts?
It's a real turning point, for sure, but
Yep.
it's not all doom and gloom. There are some bright spots out there, and people are throwing some lifelines into this thing.
Okay, good. So what can we do? Any solutions out there?
Well, this article about Coldplay really caught my eye. Did you see this one?
I might have skimmed it. What did they do?
They're donating 10% of their tour profits back to the Music Venue Trust.
Wow, Coldplay. That's amazing. But let's be real here. Can one band, even one as big as Coldplay, actually make a real difference?
That's a good question. And the answer is kind of complicated. I mean, in terms of just pure money, probably not one band can't fix this. But it's not really about the money, you know?
What do you mean?
It's about the statement they're making. It sets an example for other artists, especially the ones who got their start in those smaller venues.
So it's more like a symbolic gesture.
Yeah, but symbols matter. They're putting out this message that it's not just about how many stadiums you can sell out, it's about giving back to the places that helped you get there. Imagine if this caught on, you know? If even a handful of those huge stadium tours did something similar, it could be huge for these smaller venues.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful idea. It makes you think, what can we do as fans? I mean, besides just buying tickets, is there something more we can do?
Absolutely. Your next concert ticket can be like an investment in the future of music, you know? Find those smaller venues in your city, the ones with the cool underground vibe. Go see local bands, spread the word, keep the music alive in those places.
That's what I love to hear. This whole conversation has been really eye-opening. It's about so much more than just the music, isn't it? It's the people, the places, the whole ecosystem that revolves around live performance.
Well said. It's about those moments of connection you can only get at a live show, you know, that energy.
Exactly. So next time you're thinking about going to a concert, maybe look beyond the big names and those flashing lights. Take a chance on a new band. Explore those hidden gems in your own town. Who knows? You might discover your new favorite band and play a part in keeping the music alive for years to come.